So I recently posted a video on whatever social media, YouTube, I think maybe even Instagram, doesn't matter. And this video was about how you, when trying to attract like your partner or attracting, a partnership, instead of looking for a husband or a wife, like look for a best friend. And I told the story about how one of the reasons why I ended up, marrying my best friend is because this is what I used to attract him to me. I got really clear about my friendships with my girlfriends and what I loved about them. And I was like, I'm calling that in, but I also want it to be romantic. Okay. I also want there to be some passion and some va va vu. Long story long, so this kind of sparks a conversation that I'm like kind of a part of, but like not a part of in my comment section. And I just thought it was really fascinating because, somebody came on and they're just like, well, like, I hate how manifestation people always like it's always in favor of the women. And, men have to work really hard to become the best version of themselves, and women just get to sit back and reap the benefits or something like that. And while I appreciate this comment because I do think that when we are discussing manifestation, especially if right now where there's this big push for feminine energy and leading from your feminine, it may feel like that to the untrained eye, where it's just like, I'm just going to wait and like wait for my Prince Charming and then he's going to show up magically because I manifested him. And I just needed to set the record straight because this is so not true. This is not how it works. Um, and it was cool because there were a couple other people that came in and they're like, well, this is what I think she means, and trying to explain it for me. And I just figured it's like, let me just explain it for myself. So, um, first off, thank you for all of you guys in my comments. And, I feel like it's just important to understand that manifestation has nothing to do with like just kicking back, daydreaming and kicking back. There may be moments where it feels like your manifestation comes through so quickly for you that it was almost like I had a thought and then that thing just happened. But that's because there was no resistance. But when it comes to things that are like big ticket items, like if you want to manifest a certain amount of money or a certain type of career or a partnership, and you have a lot of maybe resistance around why that may be hard for you to do, then it feels like it's taking years for it to happen, or you have to work really hard to become the person, who gets the thing that you want. And I can see where like now that we're talking a lot about like feminine energy and kind of leaning back in your feminine and trusting your intuition more and just kind of being guided and led in that direction, I could see where it feels like, where men are getting the shit into the stick, for lack of better words. But I want to remind you guys that feminine energy and masculine energy are like in both of us. It's non-gender specific. Everybody has masculine, feminine energy. I mean, honestly, if you want to look at nature, look at not even just nature, look at languages, and like romance languages and French and Spanish and a bunch of other, there's masculine and feminine for terms that are like, the car is a masculine, name versus the house, is maybe feminine. So this energy is within all of us. So let me explain how this works with manifestation, because we need both components in harmony for it to actually work the way that we want it to work. So that statement about men having to do the effort to become actually is not true, but instead of saying men, say the masculine. And the masculine is not just the external masculine, the person that you're calling in or whatever, but it's the masculine within you. The part of your energy that is decisive, that is action oriented, that is a leader, that can take responsibility, that creates containers for the feminine, which is like your intuition, your creativity, your inspiration, You know, this is what how the masculine and feminine work in tandem with one another. And so you need both. So in this post, you know, what I'm saying is that I was calling in a best friend, but I had to get really clear. So I had to intuitively find some sort of inspiration or feel like, you know, into my intuitive nature, which is feminine, to decide what that clarity would feel like, what it would feel like, because the feminine is feeling, it's being, it's how you process the information coming through, and then the masculine is the action. So I got clear about what I wanted, which is I wanted a best friend that I could, you know, and which is basically the title of this post. And then I took action. I started looking and being discerning with who I was allowing myself to date. I started to become the best friend that I really wanted to be in partnership with. It was important for me to also be a best friend to to my person. So I had to show up with best friend energy, which is like, yeah, let's do fun things together. Let's like, let me ride for you. Let me just cheer you on. Let me pump you up. This is not about what you can just do for me. It's a mutual beneficial sort of experience where we get to do life together and cheer each other on. And also there's this romantic component, which is not in my best friend relationships, you know, but it is in my partnership with my husband. So this was the difference. My feminine took her intuitive nudges and discovered what she wanted with clarity. My masculine heard what I wanted and was like, let's go get it. Okay, let's go after it. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. So, excuse me. I always get really worked up with this because it's like such a fun topic, and it also can be really difficult sometimes to explain, because if you don't really have a lot of understanding behind the masculine and feminine kind of dynamics, it can feel a little difficult to process. But all in all, I like to say the masculine is like the prefrontal cortex of energy systems. It is the organization, it is the focus, it is the determination, it's the action. And the feminine may feel like, you know, the kick back, receive, allow, surrender, go with the flow, be flexible, intuit your surroundings, find beauty in everything, be deeply grateful. That is the feminine energy. So one is being and one is doing. Feminine is being, masculine is doing. And I hope this clarifies, any confusion from my last post. This topic is such a big, beautiful topic. So if you have any further questions, I would love to have more conversations about it or even do another video for you. But I just thought I would come on here and just be like, let me clarify a little bit what I really meant. All right. Take care. Talk to you soon.